So my name's Cameron. I study International Festival and Event Management with Marketing, and I came to Edinburgh because it's the festival city, and I came here because of all the events and the opportunities that are here. Prior to starting at Napier, I was in the Army Reserves for 2 years after leaving school, and I've continued that on through my studies, so now kind of 5.5, 6 years. And Napier's been really supportive to me throughout that time, so I've been able to integrate my studies and my reservist commitments really well and quite smoothly. I came to Napier because of firstly because of the ability to do joint honours between event management and marketing, to combine the two, and then also for an event management degree I don't think there's any better city in Scotland to study festivals with all the events that go on here and the opportunities that they bring. So it's been a great place to be, to learn about all the different types of events that are going on, to be able to get hands-on experience and to work with lots of different festivals. So there are definitely transferable skills between being in the reserves and being at uni that you can take across both ways. I think definitely having been in the reserves for a couple of years before I started uni, I've been able to bring across things that kind of set me up well. I was kind of used to moving about and being independent and self-sufficient, so I wasn't really overly fazed by moving into halls. So I was quite relaxed and able to kind of enjoy my experience and not be kind of burdened by any of the worries that people might have about moving away from home, because I've kind of done that before. On the other side, there's definitely things that I've learned from university in terms of leadership that I've been able to take across kind of both theory and practical and integrate that into my reserve career as well. So yeah, I've found it quite a simple process to be able to manage both. I think both my degree and my reserve commitments are quite flexible. So it's just been a case of, if they have a clash, being able to communicate with people on both sides and explain what the situation is. And I've always been able to kind of manage things pretty well, and I've never had too much of an issue, and both sides have been really supportive in that way. I think things that I've taken from the reserves, like leadership, management skills, confidence, discipline, and presentation skills, have all helped me in my degree, both with the learning and assessments that I've had in kind of the business school environment, and then also as a class rep, being able to stand up and kind of represent students on my course and take their ideas forward and help kind of contribute to improving student experience during my time here. So during the summer between my second and third year, I learned about the kind of things that the university was already doing to support the Armed Forces community, such as the Armed Forces Covenant that they'd committed to. And then we developed the Armed Forces Network to connect staff and students with a forces background or just an interest in learning more about the military. And that's helped to connect people with similar experiences to help us kind of put things together like events, so that we can draw from both the academic and the military side for kind of mutual learning, and to be able to support both student and staff with kind of past experience in the military or those who are continuing on with reserve careers. So having done my degree in event management, I've been able to take those skills and that experience into the network as well. We've delivered a few events for the members and for wider people at the university. And although it's early on, we've got some plans for future things, and we've been really supported by different units, including Six Scots, which was my former unit, based in Edinburgh, and they've been really helpful in helping deliver things for students and for staff. So the first event that we put on as the network since our launch was a Leadership in Crisis webinar, where we brought people from academia and from the military to share their experience on leadership through the COVID crisis, and to help people learn from both sides and to realise the similarities and the differences, and to kind of be able to integrate that into their own leadership style. We've also since run leadership development courses for early careers researchers, and that's been really well supported by reserve units in the city as well. The feedback from all the events we've done so far, even though there's only been a few, it's been really positive. People have engaged well, and although we've started off with small numbers, we've got plans to do a few more events to grow once we come out of the pandemic and we're able to come back to face-to-face events. So there's lots to look forward to. So one area that's got a potential to clash if you are a reservist and you're studying is assessment deadlines, if they come close to reserve commitments that you've got, if it's a training weekend or camp, whatever it might be. So something that the Armed Forces Network introduced was an adaptation to the extension policy, which allows anyone with reserve commitments extra time for assessments, so that you're not kind of burdened by your reserve commitments and you're able to balance the two equally. The university recognises what the Armed Forces community has got to offer, particularly service leavers, and they've recently invested in research in that area. So they've set up a centre for military research that looks at transition from military to civilian life, which includes education and supporting people coming from service and going into full-time study. If you're thinking about going to university or you're already studying, I think joining the reserves is definitely a good option. For me, it's been a really flexible way to work and to earn money. They've been really supportive, and it's probably one of the most flexible jobs you can have as a student. You're able to kind of choose what days you work, and there's definitely lots of transferable skills that are really helpful. And with the Armed Forces Network community here, there's lots of support, and you're able to meet kind of like-minded people who are in a similar position.